All right. Now, I want to deal with a few things on this video. First, I want to start out with the situation with Mayra Bueno Silva, and then I will end dealing with Erin Blanchfield. Need to talk about Erin Blanchfield because she may very well defeat Valentina Shevchenko. I mean, if she can handle Taylor Santos the way that she did, then she can handle Valentina Shevchenko. Very foreseeable that she could beat Shevchenko. She could beat Rose. She could beat Manon. She could be not only the next champion, but the next long-reigning champion. It could happen. But first, I want to talk about this situation that's going on with Mayra Bueno Silva. Now, for those who don't know, she recently failed a drug test. She failed a USADA banned drug test, and they're still trying to decide whether or not she's going to get a full suspension. Right now, she's on a temporary suspension, and it has been prolonged pending the decision of this case. Now, I want to give my thoughts. I think this is a very pathetic ban. She got banned for Ritalin. Now, according to her, she stops taking it a week before the fight. Okay? You see this article? How it says Mayra Bueno Silva and Walt Harris, temporary suspensions extended by Nevada Athletic Commission. Now, Walt Harris, he was banned for a hardcore substance. Okay? Mayra Bueno Silva, during both temporarily, blah, blah. Where is it? Right here. This is what Walt Harris got busted for. Drostanolone. Okay? Now, watch this. Look at this. It boosts lean muscle mass growth and enhances performance. Now, this is something to be banned for. I'm just giving my opinion on this situation. This sounds like a serious substance. You get caught with this in your system, yeah, even if it has left your system, even if you find traces of it, you have to imagine that there was a lot more in his system prior to you finding traces of it. But with Mayra Bueno Silva, it's different. They found Ritalin. And according to her, she stops taking it the Monday before the fight. So she had traces of it in her system. And she allegedly, according to her, took it 6 days prior. Do you think that she's still benefiting from a stimulant? Now, this would have to be a stimulant from outer space. Do you really believe she's still benefiting from a stimulant that she took 6 days ago? I'm sorry, but, I think USADA, they come up with these as many different type of bans as possible to catch as many people as often as possible, because that's how you make your money. But some of these banned substances, I think, and some of these rules are ridiculous. I know they had to have found traces in her system. They didn't find a whole boatload of Ritalin in her system. Ain't no fighter that crazy to be jacked up on something that's banned, and she obviously knew it was banned. She said she's been doing this for a long time. That she would stop on the Monday before the fight, take it, and then she'd be fine. But this time they found it in her system. I don't know. Is Holly home somewhere? Is Holly home somewhere off in a corner, stuffing a few $100,000, maybe a half a mil in somebody's pocket? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Seems very strange. Seems very strange because had she been using it in the past, that can be proven. It can be proven whether or not she's used it in previous fights. But all of a sudden, mysteriously, they found it, and it's a stimulant? What type of stimulant is still giving you benefits 6 days after taking it? I mean, really, even listen, the UFC, they promote stimulants. What do you think Monster Energy drinks are? I'm pretty sure that if you take a Ritalin today, and 6 days from now, I bet you if I drink a Monster Energy drink, it'll be more effective on that day than your Ritalin will be 6 days after you took it. You're getting more of a performance enhancer if you drink a Red Bull or Monster Energy drink shortly before your fight. So what in the world is this? Is caffeine banned as well? I tried to look up to see whether or not caffeine was banned. I didn't find nothing. But even if it is, how hypocritical is that, seeing that they are sponsored by Monster Energy drinks? That's like their biggest sponsor. It's like, what is this, really? She wasn't taking nothing like what Walt Harris was taking, something that builds lean muscle mass. You're talking about something that's similar to a flipping cup of coffee? Get out of here. It sounds like they saw Holly Holm get stopped by Mayra Bueno Silva, and I don't know. I question stuff like this. And if you disagree, that's fine. But just keep in mind as well, they pardoned this guy right here, Rodrigo Nascimento, granted therapeutic use exemption for Ritalin after overturned UFC Vegas 31 win. Granted TUE, therapeutic use exemption. So USADA themselves said, oh, you could use that. Yeah, you can take it. No big deal. So what is it on the ban list for? Just for you to make money? Get out of here. He had the same thing, and he proved that it was legitimate medication for the treatment of a medical condition. So I expect the same thing to happen for Mayra Bueno Silva. And if not, y'all just being some pathetic haters, mad because that old hag Holly ish got stopped. You losers. Finally get some new blood in the mix at bantamweight, a division that's been dead for far too long. And here we go with USADA, big stupid goofy USADA. I blame USADA for this. I don't want to hear nothing about Mayra Bueno Silva because I think it's pathetic. I think it's stupid for Ritalin to even be on the ban list, when they themselves have pardoned and allowed people to use it. They're not going to do this for no steroid. Like, oh yeah, you can use nondastrolone and brovolone and all these other bodybuilding steroids. They're not going to do that. But you've already done it for something that you've now openly said that a fighter has basically tarnished her victory over a legendary fighter, Holly Holm. I don't respect that. USADA is extremely goofy, in my opinion. Now, Erin Blanchfield. Moving on to Erin Blanchfield. Erin Blanchfield, let's make a few things clear. She is, without question, the most unexpected contender. She was the least expected, especially when she was still unranked. After her fight against Sarah Alpar, before her fight against Miranda Maverick, there is no way you'd find many people who would say she would be a title contender. Okay? Because I remember that most people thought she was going to lose to Miranda Maverick. Oh, I haven't forgot that poll. Most people, I made a poll, and most people picked Miranda Maverick in that fight. And at first, I picked Miranda Maverick because I thought she had a size advantage. Then I realized, no, she didn't. And then I changed my pick. I said, well, hey, all things even, there's no reason to take Miranda Maverick in this fight. You know, I thought Miranda would have been able to stuff Erin's takedowns. Miranda's wrestling's not that bad. So if she had a size advantage, that'd give her a big advantage. Plus, she's lighter on her feet. And, yeah, she beat Miranda. Dominated Miranda. And the fact is, look, man, she dominated Andrade. And she went in here and defeated Taylor Santos more convincingly than Valentina did. And she was never in as much trouble after 3 rounds. 3 rounds in there against Taylor Santos. Erin was not in as much trouble as Valentina was 3 rounds in there against Santos. That's what it is. In that 3rd round, she was the boss. And let me tell you, I know we don't like to talk about what could have happened or would have happened if it would have been 5 rounds. But had this been 5 rounds, I wouldn't have felt confident if Santos was my fighter going into the 4th. Not with the way the 3rd ended. With her looking completely spent, gassed, and getting hit by almost everything that Erin threw out there. Okay? She made Taylor Santos look bad. Santos looked good in that 1st round. In fact, I thought Erin was in danger of being stopped in that 1st round. I'm like, look, man, you don't want to be taking a bunch of clean shots from Taylor Santos. But she took them. But, man, after that 1st round, listen, Taylor Santos does not have championship cardio. She can't hold the belt, Taylor Santos, not with a gas tank like that. So this is what we were waiting to see, to find out. Who is the true boss of the division? We have to cross Taylor Santos off the list. That cardio is going to be a huge... It worked against her against Shevchenko as well. The pattern we're seeing with Santos is that she will get tired sometimes by the 2nd round. And definitely by the 3rd. And once she gets tired, she's a lot easier to dominate. But Erin has a tank. Okay, Erin, her biggest problem is her defense. People out here calling her a punching bag, just like I said they'd be doing. People out here saying that she really lost, just like I said. A bunch of people are saying that this was a lackluster victory for Erin Blanchfield. But I don't hold that against her because Taylor Santos is a fine fighter. It's hard to dominate and look good against somebody who's about as equally as good as you. Most likely, fights between the very best are going to be competitive. Okay? Now, it's historic when two top fighters fight and one dominates the other. But this was expected. That was a competitive fight. But she won. She did not have as much trouble. Santos never took Erin's back. And the biggest difference in the fight between Erin and Santos is that Santos was mindful of being taken down herself. Whereas against Valentina, I don't think Santos was worried about Valentina trying to shoot in and take her down. Okay? It was like Valentina was the only one worried about takedowns. And that's what Taylor tried to do in that fight. So Santos has to worry about herself being taken down when she fights Erin Blanchfield, but not so much when she fights Valentina Shevchenko. So if Valentina fights Erin Blanchfield, you're going to deal with the same thing. Because you know Valentina's going to start off striking, and she'll probably win the strike. Probably. Man, if she's getting pieced up by Santos, she's going to be getting... And the thing is, I don't know. You might not be able to get Valentina down either. Remember, she never got Santos down. Time she ended up on top, Santos failed a takedown herself. That was Santos trying to get a takedown and failed. But she was strong enough to keep Santos against the cage and the controller, keep her pinned up. Erin shows a lot of unusual strength. She's very strong. But it looks like in some ways Santos got more physical strength. Like Santos seems to be stronger, have a better ability to take you down. You know what I mean? But she I don't think she wanted this fight to be on the mat. She wanted to strike with Erin Blanchfield. I believe they saw flaws in Erin's striking, but that would have been a bad game plan because you saw how well she was a striker she was in the third round when she was tired. So if you ain't got no gas tank, you can't do nothing. So Santos, I will say, will not be the next long-reigning champion. Will it be Erin Blanchfield? Listen, it's up in the air. It's up in the air. I can't say no. As critical as I am of her defense, it might work out for her. She might go through a whole bunch of fights where she get her face punched a whole bunch, yet they fail to knock her out and fail to hurt her. Because Santos hits hard. And if she can take shots from Santos, she can probably take shots from everybody. But the thing is, eventually your chin is going to give. You can't just go through fight after fight after fight, getting punched like that, eating clean shots like that. No. You're eventually going to fold. You're going to give in to the shots. So, but with her lapse or deficiency in defense in mind, offensively, Erin is difficult to deal with. She's difficult to deal with, and she has to be in the discussion, like it or not. Now, against Manon Fiorot, I suspect Manon would not be having much of that. It's not the first time Taylor Santos sort of accepted being put on the cage. Now, I don't know if it was because she's accepted it or that she just couldn't get Erin off of her, which is what I'm inclined to think. It's more of a case of Erin being so strong that Tyler couldn't get her off of her, but Erin wasn't strong enough to take Taylor down. That's another thing Erin needs to work on. It's her ability to get her opponents down. Ability to get them down. You don't want to be the female version of Mayra Bueno, and people have already started with that. People have already started saying that Erin is the female version of Mayra Bueno, a guy who is very, very criticized in the MMA world. Now, you're always gonna have fights like that, fights that are criticized. Shevchenko's had fights like that. It's all about how bad it is. I don't think this is that bad. Even the people who are critical of her victory, they have to admit that it was dominant. It was a dominant victory. She's getting pieced up bad in that first round now. Like, way too bad. Like, she don't want that to keep happening. That's something they better check. They have to check in training, starting right now. They should have been started at. And like I said, I think she can just put her hands up. Because when she gets hit, her hands are down. And they could be up. Erin could be that chick, people. I know she don't look the part. I know she looked like a Wendy's employee. Right? I know she looks like a soccer mom or something. But she might be that chick. That next dominant fighter. Because look. Can't y'all see Alexa Grasso getting wrestled to death by Erin? I can. Yeah, I can see it. I can see Grasso having all kinds of trouble. I can see Grasso getting submitted by Erin Blanchfield. But I would take Grasso in that fight because of how vulnerable Erin is to strikers. And you don't even have to be an elite striker. I don't think Taylor Santos has elite boxing. She doesn't have elite boxing, but she was tattooing Erin's face like a tattoo artist. If you look at her history, Sarah Alpar was touching her. Everybody was touching her. Could you imagine? I know it's a different weight class. Could you imagine Erin against Yan Xiaonan? Until Erin takes, or against Weili Zhang. And you could always get submitted by Weili. But high-level strikers, we haven't seen Erin against a high-level striker yet. People, I know she looks good, but let's be mindful. That's the one thing we haven't seen from Erin yet. We haven't seen her against a high-level striker. Now, the closest thing to that is probably J.J. Aldrich. And J.J. Aldrich was touching her up as well. I would also say Miranda Maverick, but Miranda, fighters with good hands can piece Erin up. And you see how she had to wrestle to death fighters with decent striking. Right? Erin Blanchfield had to maul Miranda Maverick as well. I would take Alexa Grasso, but I would know full well Grasso could lose that fight. That would be a 55-45 fight, in my opinion. Or at least for me. Most definitely. For me personally. Valentina Shevchenko. Man, I can see Valentina losing to Erin Blanchfield just as easily as I can see Alexa Grasso losing. I think Blanchfield has a very, very bad style for Valentina Shevchenko. However, until Erin was able to get Valentina down, she would be such a punching and kicking bag. I mean, Shevchenko's going to have target practice. It's going to be target practice until Erin gets her in the clinch or gets her down. And that's the thing that bothers me. If Erin had good defense, people, I would take her over almost anybody. Over almost anybody. If she had at least decent defense. That girl get hit too easy. And the thing when you watch her, as she gets hit, man, she's not pulling away from it as she's getting hit. She's not even bracing herself. It's just a full-on fist or foot. It's usually a fist crashing into her head. I'm always weary about fighters like that, man. Oh, God, don't even talk about Natalia Silva. Now, I've heard people talk about that. Now, don't you think Silva would tattoo Erin's face? She would do a number on, I could see her doing a number on Erin. And I can see her not being able to get, well, I don't know. You can get Silva down, but Silva got good takedown defense. But how would she catch Silva? Look at how much lighter Silva is on her feet than Erin Blanchfield. No matter how you look at it, there's some stiff competition at the top of 125. And you got Karine Silva. Like, Erin, do you really want to take Karine Silva down? I wouldn't want any, like, if any of the fighters at 125 were my fighters, I wouldn't want any of them. I wouldn't feel comfortable with any of them being down on the mat with Karine Silva. Wouldn't feel comfortable. So it's in the air. I believe this belt at 125 is going to get passed around just like the belt at strawweight. Yeah. Now, Manon Fiorot, I think, well, at least for me, feels like the fighter who will give Erin Blanchfield the most problems. She's tall. She's light on her feet. Real good foot movement. Excellent boxing. Manon. Good power in her boxing. And she's physically strong. Those moments she had Santos against the fence might not be as easy to do that with Manon. She might reverse you, right, and head back to the center of the cage or, touch you up a little bit. Another problem with Erin Blanchfield, which I mentioned last night, she's not really a clinch fighter. Erin does not inflict much damage when she's inside. Compare her to very good clinch fighters like Loma Lookboonmee or even Angela Hill. Angela Hill throws some of the best elbows up close in the clinches. Up close in the clinches. So I could see Erin getting hurt up in the clinches, trying to get a takedown like she was with Taylor Santos. You get up there with a real good Muay Thai specialist, they're going to cut you up. Okay? And that might be all you need to get them up off of you. So yeah, it's a lot of tough fighters, stiff competition that I see headed for Erin Blanchfield. But no matter what, I think she got the style to be a champion. I know her striking is not flashy, but Erin's striking works. She wills it to work. Her biggest advantage is her mind, Erin Blanchfield. She got tremendous belief in herself. You could see it. You could tell how she fights. Despite not having the tools that many of the other girls have, she got unbelievable belief in herself. And people like that are always difficult to fight, man. They're always going to be a problem. I said before, I think a lot of fighters who are not doing that well, maybe unranked or not, would be doing a lot better if they just had more confidence and belief in themselves. I've talked about how I believe Valentina struggles with self-belief. A lot of her reluctancy, her hesitance, a lot of that, I think, she's just not as confident as she should be. But, yeah, Erin, now it's not an Erin thing. I'm not picking on Erin. I have a hard time believing that anybody will be a long-reigning champion. It's going to be hard for girls to duplicate what Shevchenko did. Shevchenko set the standard at 125 with even more title defenses than Joanna did at 115. Okay, right now it seems impossible, man. Almost impossible for anyone there to defend that title 6 times. Isn't that how many defenses? How many defenses did let's look it up. Let's look it up. Valentina Shevchenko, I'm thinking 6 or 7 title defenses. That is the standard. Okay, she won it. She took it in this fight against Joanna, and she defended it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She made 7 title defenses, Valentina. 7 title defenses. Whew. That's tough to match, man. Right now, can you see that? Can you see anybody doing that? Making 8 title defenses. The goal for people is to break the record, not to tie it, to break it. Now understand, 7 title defenses, that's extreme. Most fighters, I think, will feel like they've accomplished their dreams if they just win the belt. And definitely if they make 1, 2, 3 title defenses. Most of them be like, okay, I'm cool with that. But if you want to be that chick, because listen, when it comes to fighters, combat athletes, the goal for everyone is to be the best of your era. The best of your era. That's everybody's goal. But everybody, I think, is aware that not everybody is going to attain that goal. But if you want to be the best in your era, these are the things you have to look at. And I don't see any of them. I don't see any of these fighters. But it's a fun division because they're all trying. And that's all we could ask for. Ladies, just try. And I want to commend Taylor Santos and Erin Blanchfield yet again for their fight this weekend. For me, Erin Blanchfield and Taylor Santos gave a good example of tenacity and aggression that all girls should try to duplicate, if not surpass. If the aggression level and tenacity level is at the level of that fight or greater, that will evolve WMMA. Okay? That's all we can ask for. Just try your hardest. So it's a fun division because they're all trying to fight. Now, think about this now. I think it makes it more interesting with the addition of Rose. Because it's like out of nowhere and it's like something that's not supposed to happen. But insert Rose at 125. So now it's pretty crazy. Now somebody made a statement. Who was that? About this upcoming fight. I'm about to go to it right now. I think I can find it. Somebody made a statement about this upcoming fight. I think was it Erin? It might have been Erin Blanchfield. They said, it was Erin. It was Erin. She said that she does not see Rose defeating Manon Fior. I could see it. Now, I'm going to take Manon, but I could see Rose making contact with Manon. Manona's been hit before. She got good defense. Don't get me wrong. Manona's got good defense, especially with her foot movement. But she can get hit. And I can see her getting clocked. And if you're getting hit, you can get knocked out. How many fighters has Rose knocked out? Listen, people. For a while, Rose led all other fighters, female fighters, in knockout. She had the highest ratio and whatnot. I could see it happening. I can definitely see it happening, man. Now, what is this? Newest UFC bantamweights. No, I've seen Jacqueline fight before. I think I've seen them both fight before. Okay, good. We'll see. Man, there's a new crop of bantamweights. Not excited, man. This girl right here, I watched a few of her fights. Yeah, nope. Division is still dead. I hate to say it. I hate to put it that way. It's still dead. Yeah. She might look entertaining. She might look entertaining to look at, but no, ain't nothing happening there. Now, what I said still stands. If Rose goes through with this fight, I'm going to be surprised. I expect her to get goofy and not show up. But man, what if she knocks Manon out? Now, Erin she got up there and said that she believes she's next in line for a title shot, which I believe as well. And I think it should. I'd rather it be Erin. Rose ain't done nothing in division. She hasn't earned a title shot. Even if Rose knocks Manon out in the first round, no, especially not after that stinker she just had against Carla. But Rose is in the mix. She's in the mix, and that's just how it is. And if she wins, she might get a title shot. So it's not really guaranteed that Erin is going to get the next title shot. But it's crazy now. Manon and Valentina Shevchenko. Now, there are going to be people who interview Erin Blanchfield post victory over Taylor Santos. She's going to have a lot of interviews. And I want to know from Erin, how, did she really turn down the fight against Shevchenko? That's what Valentina herself said. She said these girls didn't want to fight. Shevchenko said Erin was offered a fight against her. Like, this could have been, instead of Erin against Santos, this was supposed to be Erin against Valentina Shevchenko. Shevchenko said, I was willing to fight her, but she turned it down. I was surprised. I'm still surprised. Because Valentina herself said, hey, I should get an immediate title shot. Immediate rematch. And it would be disrespectful if I didn't. All the title defenses I made, and I agree with her. But even after all that, she then turned around and agreed to fight Erin Blanchfield. Man, oh man, Valentina is a valuable employee for UFC. But I would like to know if that is true, because if it is, then I'd like to know why she did that. Why'd she do that? I'm sort of I got mixed feelings about Erin Blanchfield. One of my pet peeves is fighters with poor defense. Y'all know that. That's one of my pet peeves. I'm more harsh on fighters with poor defense than I am anybody else or any other type of fighter. And that's Erin Blanchfield. But her offensively, she is extra difficult to deal with. And that offense might be enough for her to bulldoze her way through, take that belt, and beat up a few girls. Okay? But I'm going to have to go out on a limb, put my reputation on the line, and say no to Erin Blanchfield. No. She might win the title. But with her style, I don't see her being the next long-reigning champion. I don't even think she has the best potential, the most potential to be the next long-reigning champion. And it's all because of her defense. If she had decent defense, man, I would be team Erin 100. And I'd take her to beat everybody to be the next long-reigning champion. Most definitely I would. If she had decent defense. But man, her defense is far too leaky. Far too leaky. And to be honest, the fighters I think who have the best chance at being the next long-reigning champion is between Manon Fior, Natalia Silva, or Karine Silva. For now. Until I see more and learn more of them, learn more about them. And I'm saying that based on what I've seen so far. Okay? A lot of girls with a lot more experience. But Natalia Silva defensively, I think is light years better than Erin Blanchfield. Does anybody see Natalia taking as many shots as Erin Blanchfield? And I don't believe Taylor Santos would land that many clean shots on no Taylor Santos. I mean, not Taylor Santos, on Natalia Silva. I don't see that happening at all. So, and I don't mean to try to, dim her shine. This is Erin's moment. And I'm definitely a massive fan of Erin Blanchfield. Like, she seems so good that she doesn't even seem real, right? She's a super fighter, an elite top fighter, yet she don't look nothing like it. And I like that. I like that visual. It's like it plays tricks with the mind. You look at Manon and Erin, you not know their reputation or history, and most people would take Manon to win that fight. But Erin, it's not just the way she looked. It's the way she looked when she fight. She doesn't look fancy. She's not flashy at all. She's like unflashy. A lot of her punches, she lacks so much form. And she is so unaesthetically pleasing to watch. Nothing she does is pretty. It's so unpretty. It looked like she lobs punches out there. It don't even look like she's properly throwing them. Like she's just heaping them out there. It's like, what is this? These are not even punches. Like she just raises her arm up and touches them. Don't even look like punches. Very, very interesting. She's a very interesting fighter. But man, that lack of defense, I have to dismiss her claim as the next potential long-reigning flyweight champion. Now, I know Valentina lost a lot of respect. She lost a lot of respect, and I mean fighting respect, after her loss to Alexa Grasso. And really, it started after her fight against Taylor Santos. But I think depending on what happens in the rematch, and really, let's say now, girls should look at Valentina as like the biggest problem that needs to be dealt with right now. Now, if Grasso destroys her in the rematch, and you might not have to worry about Valentina. But Valentina right now, she has the ability to smoke some of these top contenders. She possesses the tools to totally dominate some of these fighters, and Erin Blanchfield is one of them. With Valentina's movement, speed, accuracy, and with how easy Erin is to hit, Valentina might have just the right movement, mechanics, and takedown defense and strength to beat up Erin bad on the feet and manage to stay away from her where she can't catch her. I could see Valentina just going to town, teeing off, because Taylor does not have great speed, man, and she was doing it. So imagine a girl with lightning fast hands. Dude, she would light Erin up bad. Now, I don't care. You talk about your iron jaw, your great chin. You getting hit flush with shots, so many shots. It's going to be a short night for you. Very short night for you. If Shevchenko was my fighter and we got matched up against Erin, oh man, I would train her to box Erin. Box her. You see her head? Use that as a punching bag. Use the angles, cut the angles. Man, please. No. She's going to have a rough time with some of these high-level strikers, man. At round one, it looked like Taylor was Muhammad Ali. Just stinging her. Now, Erin took him. She took him. But she took too much. She took too many of them. Man, imagine Natalia Silva in there. Oh, also, Maycee Barber is somebody to worry about. Because, understand, Erin Blanchfield, she's not as good in the clinches as Maycee Barber. You want to get all up on Maycee Barber like you was Taylor Santos, you might deal with a whole lot more problems. And you might not be able to body and muscle Maycee Barber like that around. And what if you're not able to do that, but Maycee Barber is able to knock you out? Big people, Maycee Barber is a potential contender as far as how well she might match up against Erin Blanchfield. I think that's a tough style matchup for Erin Blanchfield. Maycee Barber, because of Maycee's inside technique and her physical strength, Maycee is pretty strong. And these are young girls. That's what makes this exciting. Erin Blanchfield only 24. Maycee Barber somewhere around the same age. So now is a good time to make these predictions. Okay. Lauren Murphy, no. Chukagian, maybe. Long as she don't run into Valentina, maybe. I can see Chukagian having a rematch with Andrade and winning that fight. But Andrade is no longer in the picture. Of course, also Tracy Cortez. Understand, Tracy defeated Erin Blanchfield. Erin has one loss on her record, and that is to Tracy Cortez. Now, this might be exactly what Tracy needs to become motivated again. To have Erin Blanchfield as the next contender, possibly the next champion. And you being the only person to have defeated her. So who knows? Erin moving up and possibly taking the belt might inspire and create another possible contender, Tracy Cortez. We'll see about that. But I think the UFC, I can feel it in my heart. I think the UFC's plan is to not match up the Silvas. I hope that's the plan. It just seems like very dishonorable and very disrespectful. It's not a case of them being Brazilian. It's a case of them being undefeated. Also, here recently, they referred to Erin Blanchfield as an undefeated fighter. One of these articles, as soon as they started, say Erin Blanchfield remains undefeated. Here's that article I was telling you about where Erin said that. You see right here? Erin Blanchfield remains undefeated in the UFC. She's undefeated in the UFC. That's why I say, hey, it matters if you're undefeated in the UFC. Even if you've taken losses outside the UFC, forget about them. Once you're in the UFC, you're a different fighter. You're usually a different fighter. Said, I just don't see Rose winning. What? Now, of course, if the Rose showed up against Carla, yes, Rose could show up and be mentally somewhere else. But if Rose shows up and she actually is there, I could see her hurting. I could see her doing well against Manon. But we'll see. Maybe Erin is right. I'm going to get down to what she said. So I think Manon wins, but I really don't care who I fight out of those two. All right. I'd rather it be Rose. I want to see Rose get mauled by Erin because I know how that fight would go. I would definitely take Erin over Rose Namajunas. Most definitely, without question. But, man, Rose would be touching her up. And that's the thing. When you go into a fight knowing that a fighter is going to get touched up, at least early in the first. Remember, we used to say that about Andrade. And we would point to that being the same reason why Andrade is going to fall off. Now, look at Andrade now. Early in fights now, Andrade's getting tattooed and getting knocked out. Chin ain't going to hold up forever now. You got to, and this is what I was talking about with Valentina Shevchenko. They need to still look at Valentina as the champion in some respects. Because look at how many light years ahead defensively Valentina is to Erin Blanchfield. Man, please. When it comes to striking, early in the fight, Valentina would punish Erin. And, I have a hard time seeing Erin land anything. Anything. Erin will have to get that fight to the ground fast. So, yeah. Backstage, she said, I think Manon is a little bit bigger of a girl. Rose is coming up the flyweight, and she's someone I don't think really had a hard time making 115. So I think the jump to 125 will be pretty rough. She's a great fighter, but Manon is going to be taller, lankier. I just don't see Rose winning that fight. Same thing I said. Rose is not some muscle-bound fighter like that. At 115, she's kind of soft and fleshy. And you want to move up to 125? We saw how she looked at 135. I know that was 135. But, man, she looked she looked horrible in that grappling match at 135. I think Rose, I've talked about Rose possibly being able to make 105. So, yeah, I got to agree with this. But that would be a good opponent for Erin Blanchfield, Rose Namajunas. I think she'd win that fight. But, man, you got some wild cards moving up. Good luck to you if you want to take Karine Silva down. Karine on the ground is showing to be more dangerous than anybody else. Once she's on the ground, it's like it's a wrap. Like when girls go to the mat with her, they're not getting back up. They're not getting back up. The fight's going to end there on the ground. So some of these girls, you can't just think you can just take them down. Something can happen to you doing all that. Once y'all start wrestling and all that, anything can happen to anybody. Either one of you can get submitted once you take it to that level. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Erin has really helped to breathe life and help establish 125 as the best division, as the hottest division, female division in the UFC. Erin played a massive role in that, a massive role in boosting 125 to the forefront. Yeah, I'm going to take Manon over Rose, but man, I give Rose a chance. Lord, look, maybe y'all right. Maybe I'm the only one who don't see this. But what if Rose show up in the cage and she jacked? What if her stomach ain't sticking out over her shorts? And what if she still got the same movement? Manon is light on her feet, but is Rose really a stationary fighter herself? I think this fight is going to look crazy. Until Manon is able to impose her size advantage on Rose, she's going to have to deal with a 125 Rose. A flyweight version of Rose. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem if she shows up. What if Rose show up and she got muscles popping out everywhere? Her neck is all thick and jacked and she looking scary. Then she get in there and look like the typical Rose. Well, that could probably give Manon some problems. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, I'm excited about Erin as a potential title contender. Hopefully she'll fight for the title next. Excited about a lot of fighters in the game. But remember, I'm all about predicting. I'm all about predicting. So I got to look at things like a lack of defense and stuff like that. And I have to hold it against Erin here. But we'll see if she can strong arm that belt and muscle her way to more title defenses than Valentina. If she can get 7 or 8 title defenses, I will definitely be surprised. Even if she makes, listen, if she gets that belt and she make 4 title defenses, yeah, I will take that as an incorrect prediction. Yeah. Yeah, now Tracy Cortez is about to fight. Oh, she about to Jasmine, right? Jasmine. I'm going to take her over Jasmine. I'll take her over Jasmine. And this might help motivate Tracy. From what I understand, Tracy has lost motivation in MMA. But hey, look, this could have been you had you been as dedicated as Erin. It just doesn't seem like she's really been dedicated, which is too bad. But this might help motivate her, and we might have to throw her into the mix. In this fight last night, I watched this fight. Good win for J.J. Aldridge. But that was the same J.J. Aldridge. I feel like that was the same old J.J. Aldridge, and I don't think that was the result of improvements. I think she was always capable of doing that to Na Liang. And but we'll see. We'll see what's next for J.J. Aldridge. I still think she don't like to be hit. She's got a phobia sort of getting hit. But yeah, I think that's ridiculous. That thing with Mayra Bueno Silva, that's so ridiculous. Some of these banned substances, it's like, why are they banned? And get real. you find small traces of a stimulant. we didn't even need to know all that. You know, they could have kept that behind closed doors. So I don't know. I suspect Holly Holm might be behind the scene, stuffing some pockets to help soften the blow of a stoppage. But I don't know. Hey, I can't help but to wonder what that's all about, because I think that's a ridiculous type of ban. A stimulant 6 days ago. Okay. All right. Well, in this here, wow, I was on here for a perfect hour. Check me out. That is all for this live stream. I will see y'all on the next.